Welcome to Linux Out Loud, where we chat about Linux, open source, and tech, and apparently also on road trips. I'm Wendy. I'm just back from hauling robots to Texas and getting ready to drive another one to California. I'm joined by Bill in Mission Control and a roaming Nate who's temporarily exiled from CubicleLabs. Buckle up as we dig in to how our Linux setups change as we travel, the gear we actually trust on the road, and the little self-hosted comforts that make hotel rooms feel like just a bit of our home lab.
I thought that was really sweet. I liked it.
Thank you. that one was a little less goofy than last week's, which definitely had Matt struggling to finish it, which was a ton of fun. I think that's half the fun of changing the intros and outros each week.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, he struggled. It was funny to listen to.
I should share the raw portion of that because oh my gosh, it was
I could tell just from listening to the edited version. I'm thinking to myself, how many takes did it take for Matt to get through it, and how many times did he swear his ass off the whole time, like just freaking out, like just completely ballistic that this was done to him.
There were multiple takes, and I don't think there were any or just a few swear words as far as like getting through the intro of it. His comments were definitely like, "I can't believe you're doing this to me, Wendy," or something like along those lines. Like, why? And I'm like, "'Cause it's fun. That's why." So you're welcome.
It was a lot of fun. Just watching him struggle that way. It was pretty glorious. I'm not gonna lie.
Definite struggle bus. So Bill, you have been with us a lot lately. Gone for a week. Matt can't join us again this week, so you're back. You becoming quite the regular here. So what have you got going on this last
like a
little bit
fixture
since we've seen you?
He's like a fixture, you know?
Show fixture.
Yeah.
When somebody says that, it makes me think of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where the crew of the Flying Dutchman becomes part of the crew, part of the ship.
Yes.
So all I can think of is, am I going to end up
melding in
like part of this pole or part of the wall, and I'm just kind of going to come out of the wall like, oh, hey, I'm here, picking bits of drywall and Ethernet cables out of my hair and whatever else.
Your hair turns in Ethernet cables.
That would be neat, but also terrifying. Like, how would you call...
Instead of
is
dreads.
that like the networking geek form of Medusa, right?
Yeah.
They'd have to be like the little strands within the Cat6 cable, though, because if you actually tried to comb the Cat6 cable itself, you'd need a rake.
No, actually,
but I don't think Medusa combs her snakes either.
Yeah, but it's like your the ends, the connectors would kind of, be like the snake heads, and you
and
go to a
if they
server room,
snap,
you actually
that's such a pain.
Yeah, and then when you can go to a server room, you connect into it and be like, and you merge with the.
Hold on, we can take this one step further. This is the first generation of mind melding, because if my hair is just nothing but Ethernet cables, and somebody else's hair is like Ethernet cables and ends, we put a switch in between them. In theory, data could be exchanged, but then we both gain weight.
That's true.
Data has weight. Yes, I won't.
Nice to pull that one in again. Like that's your third reference to it. Go check Pseudo Show.
But it worked.
Yes, it did.
But I actually have been quite busy doing a bit of changeover to my workstations. I had my HP Victus laptop that's on loan from work, from a business that closed, and I thought, this has an NVIDIA card in it. It's the perfect machine to try out Bazzite.
Ooh. Do tell.
What NVIDIA card does it have in it?
It has a 3060 Ti.
Okay.
So not
nice.
Brand spanking new, but for the kinds of games that I tend to play, more than adequate.
It's what I'm currently running in this system. So, I mean...
I'm not...
And it's running 4K monitors and video editing. Not necessarily greatly. Not like perfectly well. But...
It's doing it.
Job. Yeah.
Quick aside, in my shop at the office, we have an old NVIDIA 1080 that came out of a rendering rig from a scientific animation studio. And at the time that we built the rig, there were 3 1080s in there. And the ticket came in that the machine was acting funny. And so when it came back to the shop, we noticed that the fans on the top video card had been running for so long that they had actually carved almost like a round notch into the heat plate of the card below it. So as these bearings were failing, the fans were slowly eating into the plate of the other one, and we found that to be so crazy that after we replaced it. Do you have pictures? I don't have pictures. I'll have to find the actual plate if I can. It's in the office somewhere, and I will bring it in for a live show of what happens when you don't use the right video card for that kind of work, because by all rights, we should have used a card where the fan pushed the air out the back more and not straight down. But that was many years ago.
It probably would have helped keep the other graphics card below it a little bit cooler.
Exactly.
I know we like to save parts that fail in the robotics shop too. So last year, they were running 2 servos that needed to work in conjunction, but opposite, like they were turning in opposite directions to move the arm the same way. And if they weren't lined up just perfectly, it was breaking servos and all kinds of stuff. And we have 1 servo horn that's completely stripped out. Like, it's polished smooth on the inside.
That takes effort.
It takes some serious effort. Yeah, but we've saved that as like a what not to do. See, this is what happens if you don't use your servos correctly.
Like, there's an insurance company that has a bunch of commercials that feature weird incidents, and I want to take that and say, well, this could happen to you if you're not careful with your video card. Yep, we've seen that. But no, the move to Bazzite so far on that system went really well. I liked that a lot of the launchers that I use, such as Heroic, GOG, Steam, and even Blizzard through Lutris, just worked. Like, everything in it just worked. It's my first experience really dealing with a flat pack first system, and I've not had any issues with it. And I was so happy with it that the system that I'm interacting with you on in this recording is also now running Bazzite.
Oh, wow.
So I've been very happy with it. The neat part was, as I was doing the Bazzite install, because I was running Fedora on the system before, there's actually a process in the install that will convert the whole installation over from Fedora to Bazzite. And so far, it has been absolutely flawless.
Wow.
See, I've had less good luck with flat packs in my day-to-day stuff. Even when I've tried to use the flat pack version of Steam, I run into issues. But I also have games that are saved on an external drive, and it just seems to be more of a hassle, harder to get to my existing games, even giving it permissions to access that drive. Like, it just hasn't been a good experience for me. So I am heartened by the fact that it is working well for you, but I also wonder if it's because Bazzite is built on flat packs first as part of its day-to-day package manager instead of it being on top of the additional
and that's why I picked it, is because Bazzite is more of an image than it is, we'll say, an installed distro. It basically unpacks an image during that installation process. And because everything is so tailored, and Pseudoshow co-host Noel is one of the founders of the Bazzite project and maintainers of it.
Right.
So being able to bounce things off of him when I run into any weird esoteric issues, and his connections within that community has also been helpful. But to be quite honest, I haven't had too many. And actually the real litmus test for it was one of my best friend's wives is a graphic designer. Or, I'm sorry, let me back up. My best friend's wife is an illustrator. So she's always drawing and creating content. And guess what? She's also now using Bazzite. That was her first foray into actually using Linux, and I wanted to give them an experience that was very curated and easy to use for both her and her husband.
Right. So is she using Krita on Bazzite to create her art?
Yes. She's not
Nice.
a Krita guru yet, and she's so used to the tools that she kind of grew up with that there's just weird little things that she's learning along the way. And she's not afraid to ask questions, which I think is wonderful. But also being an avid gamer, she really loves her Bazzite. So that's what's been happening here on the other side of the wall where my lab is. I had found a Raspberry Pi that I had forgotten about. And when I plugged it in, I realized it had been running a tool called HomeBridge. And HomeBridge is really great if you are trying to interface your home IoT stuff with Apple. So HomeBridge is literally the thing that connects things into Apple HomeKit. And I thought for some of my friends and family that use Apple products, because if you have to choose between the big three being Google, Amazon, Apple actually does the best at retaining your privacy. Like, you don't have to actually use Siri to control your home devices. Doing it on your phone will work even without internet. So the HomeBridge project became very interesting to me, and I just realized that I hadn't touched the machine in a long time. I updated to the latest version of HomeBridge and thought, this is pretty cool. Like, they've come a long way. There's a lot more integrations. So I decided to give it a spin up, and I was able to ingest many of my IoT things, such as my cameras and my home heating controls. I haven't tried to integrate a lot of the Zigbee sensors yet. I only have so much time and energy before I say enough is enough. And then on my mobile devices, somebody showed me this thing as I was complaining about having to travel between all these customer sites and losing my nice multiple monitors and docks. And he said, well, they have a lot more options for these screen extender things now. And in fact, you can actually get 3 extenders off of one. And he sent me the link. It'll be in the show notes. But I looked at this.
Yeah,
and
I'm looking at it right now.
This is exactly what I want. Now, the problem is, it says the drivers are only available for Windows and Mac OS. And that usually tells me that it's DisplayLink.
But that will work with Linux, no problem.
DisplayLink works fine. I've not had any issues.
Yes.
A couple years ago, DisplayLink was pretty questionable, but I've actually found that in many cases I've had better luck with DisplayLink than I've had with Thunderbolt. Especially where my laptops generally are AMD based. Thunderbolt doesn't work great with AMD. You need Intel for that. And so when I have some funds available, I'm going to give this Bad Larry a try. And if it works,
Bad Larry,
I'm going to be very, very happy, because it's also a cool little travel thing, which we'll get into later.
This looks a lot like what I did a few years ago with my Framework laptop and some additional screens. It actually looks a lot like
your
what
DIY setup that you like catted for, right?
Yeah, my DIY setup.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering and secretly hoping that maybe somebody took my idea and actually was smart enough to make it into a product. And it looks like it. But also the screens are small, not 16-inch. They were 13-inch.
I liked this because it was 16-inch and 1200p. So I could get some pretty decent resolution out of this, because some of the smaller ones you might get 1080p or 1366 by 768. And as you move something from your primary window to one of the side ones, all of a sudden it inflates to this massive size, and other formatting things can happen. But they do have multiple options. They have a 14-inch. And this isn't the only brand. This is the brand I just happened to be sent the link for, because my colleague just decided to Google it and say, well, I'm looking at buying this. But
here's one
of many different options. And some of them, I think, some Kickstarter a couple years back tried this and they went under. And I didn't subscribe to that Kickstarter at the time, but I was a little disheartened that the concept of that had gone away. And now it seems like everybody's bringing it back. And I thought, if I'm going to be doing a lot more client site visits, that this would be helpful for me to have, where I keep different things on different screens, especially with my KDE Plasma setup. So,
well, this looks exactly like my home monitor setup. I have 3 on the bottom and 1 on top. And it's one of the things that when I'm traveling and editing that I miss. I miss having my multi-monitors. Now, my portable workstation is 4K, and so that's where it becomes part of the struggle is, yeah, I can get some other cheaper monitors, but if I connect them, then I have the sizing issue, as you were bringing up, that you go from one to the other and it distorts the size and it makes it a little awkward. So if you can keep it the same between your multi-monitors, that definitely helps a lot. This looks like a really nice set. I found some other ones. I might have to share them here around as we're talking about it in the edited version of the show that I've been looking at. But the downside of those is they're all individual monitors. The nice thing is I can start with one and then build up to my 3 around, but they don't have the same setup that you have here, or I'd have to do what Nate did and kind of figure out my own rig in order to get them spaced around like this.
So that's what I've been up to in terms of managing my workstations as of late. I've decided to maybe do some spring cleaning here, and part of that was figuring out a better way to manage my systems overall. Now, Nate, I understand that you've also been looking at ways to manage your system better, and the link here in our show notes looks pretty neat. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, okay, so it's not as cool as your monitor finds, but I don't know if I was going down, like just going through email and cleaning out emails, or if I was down a Reddit rabbit hole. I'm not exactly sure how I found it. I just know I clicked on the link at some point in time, and there it was. But it's called Tux Manager. It's a Windows Task Manager clone, but for Linux. And it's written in Qt. And I think it's just kind of, well, cute. I'm not actually a big fan of Windows Task Manager, but I am a fan of Dave Plummer, who does some stuff on YouTube. He's a retired Microsoft employee, and he gives a lot of really good, and I guess you maybe call them essays. I don't really know how you describe a lot of things he does, but he likes old tech too, so kind of a kindred spirit, kind of a brother from another mother, probably someone I'll never meet. But anyway, what's neat is Tux Manager, it looks a lot like Task Manager, maybe a little bit better looking because it uses some cute stuff. I actually like how it breaks down performance. I think it looks really cool. And not that there's anything wrong with the Plasma System Monitor, that I think is a more practical system monitoring tool, like way more practical, especially because you can customize it exactly what you need. But it's just really neat that somebody said, I wonder if I can do this in Linux, and it was done in Linux. So I installed it. It's very, very easy to do in an OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. I just the OPI Tux Manager. But there's also an app image you can download as well, and that works just the same. It didn't look quite right. Like it fit, but it had a kind of less clear look, the app image did, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it has something to do with me. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I just thought it looked really cool. Is it practical? Do you need it? No, and maybe not. I just thought it was really fun. I'm glad somebody just did something kind of cool with it. And I'm not really sure why some of the pictures aren't showing up here, so I'll have to fix that in the article as I'm scanning through it. But it's just a real fantastic little tool. It's not a replacement necessarily, but I'm going to keep it installed because it makes me smile. It's not any better, but if you're more comfortable, let's say you came from a Windows world and you're more comfortable with that sort of a format, then hey, that makes more sense for you. So
kill all. There
we go. Speaking like a true sysadmin right there. And that's really what it boils down to. I just thought it was a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun. Yeah. Might have to install it just for the heck of it.
The issue with the app image may stem from the fact that app images, Flatpak snaps sometimes have an issue with theming or matching the look and feel of your graphical system. So it wouldn't surprise me if the app image had that issue with this particular piece of software, whereas the OP image that you would get with OpenSUSE Tumbleweed just sort of works and looks good at the same time.
Yeah, that's probably it. It's
integrates a little bit
it's
better.
Like the font rendering was just a little bit off.
That tracks.
But it looks fine. I just thought it just wasn't. I just went with the OPI with the from the repositories. Anyway, so it's I think it's worth checking out just for funsies, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, You don't.
You don't.
And I do want to preface this with saying I'm not liking Windows more lately. I just happen to be in it more lately, and so a lot more of my world is kind of revolving around Windows and making me appreciate Linux a lot more. But even learning a lot of command line stuff in between PowerShell and whatever the CMD, whatever the command prompt, makes me like Bash and Fish way better. Also, I find they're just a little bit cleaner, more enjoyable to work with. But
I feel that.
Wendy, somebody bought you a robot for Mother's Day, or you bought yourself a robot for Mother's Day?
I bought myself a robot for Mother's Day, and not the ones that the kids have been using. Like, don't get me wrong, I have had so much fun with the Lego Spike Prime robots at home. I've even spent like my birthdays playing with them. But in this case, I bought myself a robot vacuum. So there's 6 of us in the house. Really, the hard floors need done every day, and with like my daughter college classes and back, and us like at home, but we're working on stuff, and then we're gone doing things, like some of those chores haven't been getting done like they should. And so I've decided, okay, robot vacuums have been out long enough that I'm going to go ahead and get me one. So I did spend a lot of time researching which ones I wanted, and I went with the MOVA V50. So this one in particular has really good obstacle avoidance, which is one of the things that I want, because why I'd love to say, yes, everyone's going to now keep their crap picked up, so the robot can at least do a vacuum of the hard floors every day. Let's be honest. There's stuff that's going to be left on the floor. So I wanted one with some of the better obstacle avoidance type things. And this one, time and time again, it was on a really good sale. And Mother's Day vacuums were on sale, and who wants a vacuum for Mother's Day? Well, apparently I do. And this won't just be Mother's Day, right? It's Mother's Day, birthday, anniversary, Christmas. It's all wrapped up into one. I did get it $70 less. I don't know if it'll still be on sale when you all see it in the link, but I did get it $70 less than what it was saying there. So for that, it does need to go on the network. It does need to be a network device. And I have created a new SSID on the network for this device. I'm staying with the Matrix theme, and it's called Sentinels.
Just looking at this device offhand here, and reading a couple of pieces of information, I noticed that they're going to develop a V50,000, and it's a bit bigger of a unit. And what it does is, instead of avoiding obstacles, it just ingests your children when they misbehave. So you can maybe set up a home assistant routine that listens for keywords or actions from your children. In other words, if they are gaming too long and you have it on the Sentinel,
more the eye roll. Yeah.
Or if it detects an eye roll, maybe it goes out just and grabs the child and
gone.
Yeah, just gone. So I'm gonna follow this a little bit more, and if they release that, then I'm be quite interested.
Heck yeah, I'll definitely let you know. So it's supposed to arrive tomorrow, the day after recording. It comes FedEx, and even though FedEx says it's supposed to be here like early afternoon, just because we're so close to the freeway, he puts us at the end of his route, because then he can just jump on the freeway and head after he's done. So he never actually comes when FedEx says he will. So it won't arrive until late tomorrow, which is fine, because there's still plenty of stuff that needs to be picked up off floors and put away. It's kind of one of those, we've been gone so much and collecting so much crap, the whole house needs like a deep clean, spring cleaning, getting rid of stuff. Like half of the scrap needs to go away. That would help the floors stay picked up. So once I get it set up and running, I'll let you know for sure how it's working. Maybe eventually you'll get some video of it cleaning my house. I do have a cat that likes to go for rides. Like literally she'll jump in a laundry basket, so you'll pick her up and like peck her around the house. Most cats aren't big on that, but she does really seem to enjoy it. And so she's the one that I could see riding the robot vacuum around the house as it's cleaning.
That's you when you become the meme, that's when you know.
Yes, and definitely like I can see her doing that. So we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely excited for it to get here. I hope it works as good as the reviews that I've seen it does. And I try to focus on the reviews that, hey, they've bought it with their own money, that wasn't given to them by, whatever. Because if you're spending your own money on it, it's definitely one of those things that you're more up to being, okay, is this actually worth the cost than if you're getting it as a product to try out and the like. So I did focus on those style of reviews. Sounded really good, looks really good. We'll see how it goes. I'll tell you. I'll give you an update on the next episode. I am getting ready to go to California, so we're probably at least a couple weeks out. I'm hoping to still stay within that 2-week time zone. I come home on a Monday. But it'll be really, really late on that Monday that I get home. So I don't know if I will be up to recording that following Tuesday. So maybe the Wednesday after. Just because I know after we got home from Texas, we also got home super late. And we were like wiped. We were traveling for 12 hours. So we'll kind of play it by ear as far as how recording's going to go from that. But I've fingers crossed. It's everything that I hope it will be. Now, I know you've still got to go do your regular vacuuming and mopping afterwards. That's going to be mostly for maintenance. There isn't one that's amazing at getting in all of the corners. It just, it happens. I live in the country. There's lots of dirt. But as long as it can keep up on the day-to-day stuff and it's not like, hey, the floor hasn't been swept for 2 days and I'm grossed out because of everything that's on the floor, that's all I need, right? At this point, that's all I need.
No, I'm very interested in this. I want to hear like how it works out for you. But I've been thinking about getting some sort of a robot vacuum. I have children, and then
Yes.
a cat, and I'm not really sure how this happens. But like I like to sweep and mop, but it seems like if I don't do it every day, it's like somehow like where did this debris come from? I don't understand how this happens.
It's crazy
And
the
why
way
are there
that
wood
it
shavings?
piles up.
Yeah, it's like, how did wood shavings get into the living room? And why are they on the couch? And so it's like, I don't know. But anyway, no, that might be pretty sweet, really. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give you an update as soon as I get it set up. This one seems to have a lot of controls, even privacy controls inside of it that you can turn on and all of that. So I'm interested. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm separating it on my network, so it won't be on the main network and everything else. It needs a 2.4 Wi-Fi connection, and so this way it's separate from that. One of the really nice things about my Ubiquiti Dream 7 is when I set up the new Wi-Fi for it, there was quick settings like, is this an IoT device? And I was like, yes. So that actually made setup like super, super nice, and I've already got the Wi-Fi created for it. The biggest downside of that is I'm going to have to switch Wi-Fi networks on my phone in order to connect to it and set it up. But really, that's not big of a deal. Hopefully, I won't be needing to change settings on it too often once I kind of get it dialed in those early days. Then, for the most part, it should be working pretty good. And because I got it, this one in and of itself comes with a bunch of replacement parts, mop pads, filters, all of that stuff. Most of them are washable. But I know I'm the kind of person that unless it's on my calendar, things don't get done. And I'd be like, oh crap, it's been 2 weeks. I need to swap out that filter because my house is very, very dusty, right? I live in the country in dry Idaho. Things are very dusty here all the time. And then if you have to rinse the filter, then it has to dry before it can do its thing. If I've got multiple filters, I can be like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Just swap them out. It can go do its job. I can rinse the one and we're good, right? Me forgetting to do it last minute doesn't hurt the fact that it needs to go happen. That's the worst thing about, I think, reusable filters on vacuums. Because I'm like, oh, I should do that. But oh crap, I have to use it. And then I forget again. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh crap, we're in trouble. Because that should have been cleaned a long flipping time ago.
Another reason for the 2.4 gigahertz separation, and I don't know who out there knows this, but One of the limitations of 2.4 gigahertz, the whole protocol and specification, is that it will only operate as fast as the slowest device on your 2.4 network. So let's say for some reason you have a legacy 802.11n, not AC or even a G printer or something that operates really slow, then all of the devices that are connecting on that 2.4 gig radio are only going to operate at maximum of that speed.
Wow.
So what I always tell people is if you have slower devices, more like in businesses with Wi-Fi printers or other legacy devices, create a separate 2.4 gig SSID and put all of that stuff on that one SSID, and then keep your, we'll call it handheld device facing stuff like your phones, your tablets, your computers on your 5 gig or even your 6 gig if you have it. And that way you don't sacrifice the speed of everything else for that one device.
So I've got 2 printers. I need to move the 3D printers onto that 2.4 network now that I actually have taken the time to set it up, which really wasn't that hard to do. Like, I should have done it a long time ago. But I need to move them over and then fix that in Octoprint. So they're now running inside Octoprint once again, and I can still access them from here. Because that's one of the things that sometimes I worry about when I'm moving things onto their own network is, okay, this is a device I still need to access on a very regular basis. I'm uploading files to it, I'm printing things, and I don't want the hassle of, oh crap, I have to switch networks for some of those devices, which is where Octoprint comes in and would make a huge difference and help with that.
You can have
because I can access that printer from anywhere.
You can have different SSIDs on the same network. I do that.
Yeah, well, that's what I have now set up here. I have my main one, Agent Smith, and then now I've got the Sentinels, which all of the IoT devices will get connected to. My main printer that I use all the time, it's actually hardwired in to the router because I do use it on a very regular basis. I was having some issues with the Wi-Fi on this printer, and just to get around it, it's hardwired in. I'm done messing with it.
That's
fix that problem. Yeah, and then the other one that's not used as much, the sublimation printer, I think I'll go ahead and switch that one over to that other 2.4 network, possibly. We'll see how it goes. As long as I can still access it pretty easily, then I'm not too worried about it.
Well, I'm interested in seeing. I'm like not to circle back a little bit. I'm really interested in how this robot thing goes for you. I think that's so cool.
Well, I will definitely be updating you on both how things go in California and how this robot actually goes about cleaning the house. Does it stay or does it go?
Sounds like a song.
I have to play the song too.
Yeah.
So I've been traveling a lot lately, and it kind of brings up this really fun topic for us because, Nate travels all the time too. Bill, you've been traveling for work again quite a bit to Washington and things. What are in your travel bag? What's the things that you take with you every time to keep your Linux flowing smoothly when you're away from home?
Not what you quite think. Everybody's going to usually focus on electronics. And yes, I do bring some electronic stuff. But the first thing that I make sure is that I have snacks. I have some dietary restrictions, so I can't always eat the food that they hand out on the plane. Mm-hmm. So I always make sure that I have snacks that are safe for me to eat. I also don't know how long I could be sitting on the tarmac for after I land or depart or delays or things like that. So rather than deal with hanger, I just make sure that I have some basic healthy snacks, nuts, trail mix, etc. in my bag at all times. I also make sure that I have a pair of wireless headphones that are noise canceling. And I hate airplane noise, gives me a headache. So I have a couple of sets actually. I have a Sony over-the-head one that I use, which is absolutely wonderful. I have an old school Bose wired one that I don't actually plug into anything. I just like the noise canceling on it and a lot. Battery's really good. And then the other kind of big thing for me that I like to take is this little pouch that I use for organizing all of my travel cables. Because if I don't use that, what ends up happening is this: as I reach into my backpack which is under the seat in front of me, and I go to grab a cable, I end up grabbing all the cables in one big ball. And now I'm trying to juggle whatever electronic device or tablet or laptop that I have, then the charging brick, and then trying to untie this massive knot of cables. So I'm very disciplined about wrapping the cables up properly, putting them in the travel bag, putting them in the right order so that the ones that I need the most are closest to me as I take it out. That way I only have to pull the backpack out a little bit, unzip the little cable organizer, and take out the USB-C cable that I most commonly use for my Steam Deck. My Steam Deck goes everywhere with me. I've since got it fixed. So I thoroughly enjoy... I inadvertently spilled tea on my Steam Deck a while back.
Oh, I remember hearing that story.
But now it's fixed.
Yes.
I was getting a little twitchy without it. And I have actually been able to generate some pretty interesting conversations on the plane with my Steam Deck with people asking me, hey, what's that? Wait, are you actually using that for work as well? Yeah, I just rebooted in a desktop mode. With its little screen, I kind of stare at it and launch Tailscale and VPN to my network once I'm on the home Wi-Fi. That's how I keep my networking safe. And then, maybe check a mail or something, which really intrigues the people sitting next to me. And then I'll flip back and turn on something stupid like Goat Simulator. And I'll go around, the virtual world, blowing things up and headbutting things. And that has generated a whole ton of conversation. So the Steam Deck is what I take to unwind when I'm not working, because so much of my travel is go install this, go be at this faraway place for a week. I need something to just unwrap my brain for a while, and that's what the deck does.
So it's kind of funny. I have a cable organizer almost exactly like the one that you linked that goes with me everywhere. I don't have a purse, I have a backpack, and this is one of the things that's in there all the time with me. It's got HDMI cables, C to C, C to USB, like all the cables, all the things. It's so much nicer to have them in here. I can pull it out, pull the cable I need, and go with it. Yeah, they're amazing. Everyone needs a cable organizer. Who doesn't have a cable organizer?
The best cable that I have actually found that I use the most is a USB C to A cable, because in my travels, when I rent a vehicle, it absolutely has to have either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto.
Right.
I will not use the vehicle otherwise. That is how picky I am about
having the navigation easy where you can see it is 100% necessity.
Have to have it. I have to be able to respond to text messages safely in my vehicle. I have to be able to make calls. I have to be able to do a whole bunch of things. And there are instances where I may be sitting in my car for 2 or 3 hours in between jobs, and I need to be able to get work done through the infotainment system in the vehicle while also working off of my laptop. That has happened more times than I can count. So those are very important things to me, and you'd be surprised at how many vehicles just don't have that kind of connectivity, or it's just not there yet. So those are, of all the cables that fit in that cable organizer, and yes, yours is really nice. It's actually much better than the one I have. So I'm probably going to get yours and upgrade, because why not? That is the one cable that I absolutely have to have in there. Now, Nate, I know you also travel a lot for work. You travel way more than I do. Like, you are the ultimate road warrior now. You even kind of have the ultimate warrior color green on you. Like, yes. You're in the plane all the time. You're going between multiple states. You're a subject matter expert here. So tell us what you have to have with you at all times when you travel.
I don't know if I'm going to say subject matter expert necessarily, but I'm fairly well traveled. I don't travel well. Like, I don't like traveling, but I'm okay at it. Like, I can do it. So number one, my core piece of hardware that goes with me whenever I travel is my Framework Laptop 13. It is the machine that I really, of all the machines I've traveled with over the years, and we're talking, I mean, I've been traveling with a laptop now for 2 decades. Long time. And that really hurt to say.
Should I bleep that out?
Maybe you should.
Was that a bad word?
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him here. Matt, I know you're not here in this episode, so I'm going to do it for you, okay? Dare I say, Nate, that you have been traveling with a laptop for longer than some of Wendy's children have been alive, if not all of them.
I think all of them.
I think all of them. If it's been 2 decades, then all of them. So for as long as I've been married, anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So of all the machines I've ever traveled with, my Firmic Laptop 13 is my absolute favorite. Let me tell you why. So I don't really have to. I mean, it's a well-built machine, and I don't have to really worry about if it gets damaged. Like let's say if I were to bust a screen and I'm on my way to the plant that I work out of, Texas, I can just pull a spare right off the shelf, pop it in, and I'm back off to the races. Have I done that? No.
Yeah.
But other employees have done that. And so it's really nice because I don't have to worry about my, like, you know, yes, I baby my machine, but if something really unfortunate were to happen, I could repair and keep running and still be productive with only like a loss of 15 minutes and like $180 or whatever. But that'd be on the company. Anyway, so there's that. And then I like to have a external screen, and what I have right now, what I'm using, although after our discussion earlier, I might be rethinking this, but I still like the screen a lot. This FlipGo 13.5-inch screen, so it's the exact same panel that's in my Firmic Laptop 13, but like it flips up, and so it's like a vertical that I set, you know, beside my computer. When I'm at home, it's actually sitting above my computer. And it's a really nice monitor. My boss even got one like that, but he actually recently broke his, or I think he wore it out. I think the ribbon cable may have got a little squirrely inside of it. I may actually end up checking out to see if I can fix it. But anyway, that's my go-to monitor that I travel with. And then I have this Anchor power supply unit, and I'm going to unplug this, and it shouldn't affect anything, right? Oh, I just unplugged it. So it's it's from Anchor. It has a built-in battery in it, so it's also, so from my computer's perspective, it's still plugged in, and it gives me an extra maybe an hour or so of runtime, maybe more. I don't know. It doesn't always necessarily. I mean, I don't use it for that very often, and but it works great. So I can have this, and you know, I can plug into my bag, and that's my go-to power supply. So it's got 2 USB-C, only one is for the laptop, and then a USB-A on there. So pretty much I can charge my phone, you know, my toothbrush, whatever. That's weird to say. Things I never said as a kid.
Good to go.
Charging my toothbrush. So anyway, and then if I'm going to record, so like I knew I was going to record on
like
this trip.
This week.
I brought along this little Hollyland recording system. I can't show it to you right now entirely because it would, it disconnect. But it has these two little lavalier. Is that lavalier? Is that what it's called? Anyway,
yeah.
Or lapel.
Lapel, yeah.
Lapel
microphones, and they're magnetic, so you can like stick them on things. Or there's other accessories too. And so I take this with me, and then my Pine Bud Pro earbuds, which I purchased because during a recording of Linux Out Loud, Matt told me about them, and so that's what I use now.
To be fair, he also told you about the monitor that you're currently taking with you too. So
you're right, he did.
That.
So there's that. Well, he introduced me to the company. So
okay. So you found them through the company that he introduced you to.
Right. Yeah. So actually, I purchased something else because of him from that company for my Steam Deck, which I also take when I travel, or my 1X player, which actually I purchased from Matt also. There's a theme here,
I think I'm picking up a theme here, and that is that Matt probably provides you the best retail purchasing advice that you could ask for.
Yeah, he should be in sales for some of these.
Or hardware at steep discounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the theme that we have is that Matt makes us spend money we weren't planning on.
This is true.
100%.
But some are creature comforts. I do think the Pine 64, the Pine Buds are pretty good. And actually, I tend to use the 1X player traveling more, only because it's smaller. And that
makes sense.
So that makes it so I can shove in my bag. It takes up less space. So when I travel, I I have one backpack with me to last me for the week. So I got enough. My past in the military, I learned how to pack just what I need and pack it tightly and efficiently, so that I don't have, because I hate checking bags. I only check bags when I absolutely have to. And now I may have to check a bag this time because I have to take 2 Framework Laptop 13s to Texas now. So anyway, they just arrived today. They're supposed to arrive in Texas. Well, I thought they're supposed to go to the Michigan plant, but then it said it was shipped to Texas, and I said, I meant for those to come to Michigan, but the shipping order already went out. I'm like, oh no, that's good, because then I'll just work on them in Texas and not have to worry about taking them down. But I just saw they were in my office today, so.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway,
cool.
But that is what I travel with primarily. I have a pouch on my backpack. It's like it's kind of a military-ish pack, like a MOLLE pack. And I have one pouch in there where I keep. They're just handy, and you can beat the crap out of them. And it's like,
I know.
Like I'm an old dog, and I kind of like what I like, and it works well for me. Does it look slick? No. In fact, it looks quite the opposite of slick. It looks like a porcupine. But anyway, I have a pouch in the top. It's it's basically like my little IT accessory pouch. So I have in there also like my Framework Ethernet expansion card, which I don't use very often, but when I do need it, I do need it. So I put that in there. I did have a USB-C to Ethernet, but I find this is a little more convenient. I'm not even sure why it's more convenient, but I just happen to find it more convenient. And then I have another USB. I have another expansion card in there. I can't remember if it's USB-A or USB-C that's in there, just in case I need it. And then a few other little accoutrements, cables and whatnot. So USB-C, USB-C, and then I have C to A, and that's pretty much it. So also I keep an HDMI cable with me, because when I'm at a hotel, I like to. Why didn't I plug it in? I don't know why. I have the TV right here and I haven't even plugged it in yet. What's wrong with me? Like, I just realized I haven't done that yet. So obviously I've suffered some sort of a debilitating something. And then I keep, and did I say keep an Ethernet cable with me? Yeah, keep Ethernet and an HDMI cable with me always. And it makes, so I have basically all my basics that I need. So when if I have to go somewhere, like, sometimes I'm called like, hey, can you help me fix this problem? I'm like, all right, so I'll plug into it and whatever. So it's kind of like my go bag, my ready kit of all my IT goodness, and
right,
ready to rock and roll. Now, what about you, Wendy? You pack you pack pretty heavy here, I think. Although there's only one item, but it seems like a pretty heavy pack.
Well, I mean, there's things that you guys brought up like during the course of this that I didn't even think about. So yeah, I've got a bag full of cables. I've got a backpack. Like I said, I have a backpack, not a purse. It's got multiple MOLLE pouches on it that have my quick access cables that don't go into the regular pouch. It's got a water bottle holder, right? So as I'm going from place to place, even, just traveling from here to the build room, my water bottle just slides in there, zips up, takes all of that together. So there's a lot of the things that you guys have brought up that I also pack with me. I don't have the Pine Buds Pro. I've been using these Shocks open ear earbuds now for probably close to a year, maybe a little bit longer at this point. One of the things that I love about them is their open ear. And I know that's not great for the noise cancellation and stuff, but there's times that we're traveling between states. I've got kids in the car. I want to be listening to whatever I'm listening to and at the same time be able to hear what's going on inside the car. So that's one thing I really like about that. Even my own kids, right? Driving down the road, going to the different things we need to do. I really, really like these because I can have whatever's playing, but at the same time, like, someone can still get my attention with those, though having some noise cancellation ones certain times would also be pretty amazing. But the one thing that I have been wanting to add to my travel kit, and I've brought it up before, is a travel router. So earlier, or I guess later last year, fall-ish time, we were talking about some of the ones that are available. They were cute little travel routers. And then about December, Ubiquiti came out with one. Now, the downside of this, these gosh darn things have been out of stock again and again and again. And I got a notification on the 8th. I didn't check it till like the 10th that they're like back in stock. Yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, they're back in sight. I go look and they're gone. And I was like, you have got to be flipping kidding me. It's been days. So today, prepping for this show, knowing that this is the main topic, I was just going to pull in the link. Well, they were back in stock today. Can't guarantee they are right now. I can't guarantee they will be when this show goes out. But price-wise, they're really inexpensive. I finally got one ordered. I'm so excited. Hopefully, it'll be here before I go to California. Now, why have I wanted this particular travel router? Well, one of the awesome things about this one is that it can actually broadcast your home SSIDs. So when you get to whatever location, you're going through your particular travel router, and at the same time, you don't have to reconnect all of your devices to that router. I can even plug into the internet that's there, use that one, but use my SSID in order to go through it. So I'm super, super stoked about this. I know I've brought it up before, right? I'm sticking with the Matrix theme on all of these. That's Agent Smith that's broadcasting through the house that everybody's on. And now Agent Smith gets to infect every single network I'm on when we travel.
I'll do you one better. The nice thing about that travel router is you can also set it up with a WireGuard VPN tunnel so that as your devices are connecting, they're actually exiting out of your home network, which prevents dirty-ish Wi-Fi that you find in an airport, a hotel, a hospital, coffee shop from grabbing anything that they probably shouldn't. In my line of work, I have IP restrictions on systems that I can access. I can access it either from my home network or from the office network. So when I'm traveling, I need to be coming to those systems from those IPs, which is why a device like that is perfect for me. I think that's great that you were able to find that finally, because I get it.
Finally.
Like,
yay. Because it's been months, right? I've been trying to get this thing ordered since flippin' December. And I was so angry. I'm like, oh, yay, I got the email. They're back in stock. It's only been a couple days. They should still be. No, they weren't. So just on a whim, doing this show, they were back in stock today. Like I said, I don't know if they still are. I'll check.
They are.
Yes,
I looked. They're still in stock right now.
But it doesn't mean they will be on Saturday when this comes out because we're recording on a Tuesday. So just know they've been very, very popular since they've been released in the Ubiquity store. They've been really, really hard to get a hold of. But one of the best things about this travel router compared to some of the others, not only the fact that of the stuff that Bill was bringing up, they're little, like they're the size of a playing card. They're tiny. No, they don't have a built-in power supply. They're running off the power of other things that you're using. You can connect them USB-C to power, right? Power-wise, there's not much. So yes, you're only getting Wi-Fi 5 out of them, but Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7 are very power hungry. And so it's been design choices to make this a very portable, very, very easy to use device to keep you safe as you're using other networks while traveling. And I cannot wait for this to show up.
That's pretty cool. So what's interesting about this is so you can use that as apparently you can have this log into whatever guest network at a hotel or whatnot, and then just use your home.
Yes.
And then
it'll work through portals. So from what I've said, I haven't got to try it out yet, but it does say that it'll still launch the portal on your device that you have it tethered to and be able to do the login or purchase whatever you have to do to make that happen. And then you're still running through that network, and you only have to do it on one device. You don't have to do it on every single thing you have to connect, just the one.
That's pretty handy, really.
Yeah.
And then it has two Ethernet or RJ45. It says uplinks, but I wonder if would one of them be an uplink?
So one is WAN, one is LAN.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can have it hook into whatever WAN.
Yeah. So the last house we were in when we were the Airbnb in Texas, that one had a T-Mobile home internet, and it's got 2 jacks on the back. It's almost identical to the one I'm using right here for my business internet.
Mm-hmm.
I could have just connected it if I'd had at the time, the other LAN port into the WAN port of this one, and had my home network there in
That's
Texas.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is actually very cool. That it's very tempting to buy. So thank you, Matt. I mean Wendy.
You're welcome.
I mean, like this is actually really tempting because I don't like connecting to Wi-Fi to hotel networks. I mean, I am right now. That's how we're doing this. But
Right. Yeah.
I'm always a little concerned about the. I mean, actually, I'm not terribly concerned about like my laptop necessarily because that's pretty well locked down. But the like my phones, I can't really monitor what the phones are doing. They could be doing crazy things. And actually, a work machine, like if I had a Windows work machine with me, I'd feel uncomfortable with that as well. Although we do have protections in place, Microsoft Defender, which I'm sure is just absolutely impervious. And
that was a really good joke.
Yeah. So Bill totally agrees. He's getting all hot and bothered by it. And I mean, I could complain with the IT manager there, but that would be me. So
Yeah, complain to yourself. Okay.
hey, you. Anyway, no, that's a really neat device. Like, I mean, hands down, that is an absolutely very cool device.
You don't have to already be in the Ubiquiti system to use it. They do say that it is a standalone device. So even if you don't have one of their routers right now, don't be afraid to pick one up. They are around $80. Mine was closer to $90 once I added like state tax and shipping on top of that. But still, when you're looking at good quality travel routers, that's still cheaper than the other ones I've seen on the market. So
one of the complaints I have with I have a hotspot in my van for like when we travel, whatever, is it doesn't allow for like device to device direct connection, and I have no idea why it would have that blocked. Like it's really irritating. Maybe Bill knows a workaround.
So that's usually called guest isolation when your devices can't talk to each other, and that's a setting you have to set up in the hotspot.
It's not. There are no options in the hotspot to change that. That's a Chrysler is a bunch of jerks.
Oh, okay. That's what you have. Yes,
thing,
there's nothing you can do to fix that.
See, things like that really annoy the snot out of me. Like it really, really bugs me. It's like I should be able to control. I paid for the hotspot to be able to utilize it. I paid for the van.
right.
I paid for this equipment. I purchased it. So I should be able to configure it for my specific needs. And I don't know, just very irritating.
Automotive is a little different, and actually Ubiquiti makes a mobile industrial 5G type router. And I'm talking to one of my customers about putting those in their work trucks. It's a paving company.
Oh.
And it will help provide some geolocation, but the vehicles will also tunnel all their data back to their headquarters. So this way, the network traffic that they're transmitting always remains secure, and it always remains coming in and out of the same point from their headquarters. That was
staying within the company.
Staying within the company, not really escaping out into unauthorized areas. So that's something that I'm in the process of getting approvals on, but that may be a solution to your problem long term, where it's, it comes in a DIN rail mount thing or however you want to do it, but you could pop this in your van, truck, car, RV, whatever have you, and then be off to the races.
So
they've got multiple 5G different devices now at this point, so you have several to choose from.
Do you know if UniFi has does this UniFi one have that option where you can do like pay for like a plan for it or whatever like that?
You can.
So this particular device that I have at this point, like you can create a hotspot and then share it that way. But I know they have multiple, because I've looked at them, SIM card devices.
Yeah.
There's another company that also specializes in this called Peplink, and they make different travel routers where you can put 4 or 5 different carrier SIM cards in this device. And what it does is it takes all of those IP addresses, aggregates them into one presentable IP, simple technology called SD-WAN. You can even hook Starlink up to it. It's got a whole bunch of different options. Peplinks are phenomenal devices. I've had great luck with them before. The reason I don't use them personally is just because I'm a Ubiquiti head and I'm also a creature of habit. So I thought I still want to manage things through one pane of glass.
Makes sense. Yeah, and the workaround is if every device has tail scale, we can use that when traveling. So
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool though. I think this is neat, and I think I don't need to buy anything right now, Matt. But it's a really good idea.
Well, I did link in our show notes, Nate, the mobile router industrial that I was just talking about, in case you did want to drop some money that you don't have.
Just so you know.
Where I don't
Just
see it in the
so
show
you
notes.
have it and you can make an
Oh, I see it now.
informed decision. Help me help you. You're welcome, Matt. I'll take my $50 whenever you want to.
So that's going to wrap up this travel tinted edition of Linux Out Loud. We've got more flights to book, robots to wrangle, and at least one laptop to convince that it really can survive another trip through TSA. If you're lucky, you get in the right line and you don't have to unpack that bag. While Bill and Nate try not to break anything back home on purpose. Anyway, until next time, keep your configs backed up, your batteries charged, and remember, the best layover is the one where your SSH tunnel actually connects. And don't just like the episode. That little like button has already been through enough turbulence. Treat it like a delayed flight and refresh it until everything looks green again. Take that subscribe button, add it to your itinerary like your favorite gate at your home airport, and then forget about it so it can surprise you on the next time you board that episode. If you see the share button, don't tap it. Reroute it to a friend that still thinks Linux has to stay home when you travel.